Rusty McGibbon here with Kevin Erlenbach, who is the Assistant Executive Director of Membership for USA Hockey. And Kevin, that is a mouthful,
yes.
But break it down for me. Like, what is that?
So there's a couple buckets in there that I'll go through real quick.
Sure.
One is our membership services group, falls under me. That's all the rostering, data, background screening, how we build out rosters to make sure everyone's able to play,
okay.
Should be playing, coaching certifications, things like that. Most of my time is spent within what we call program services, which is essentially grow the game and volunteer development, teaching people how to serve on boards.
Okay.
And then adult hockey, which connects with ACHA as a bucket.
Yeah.
And then disabled hockey. So we have 6 different disciplines in disabled. And then diversity, equity, inclusion.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of stuff going on.
Lots of fun.
No time for hobbies.
I mean, this is kind of my hobby too, so yeah.
So you know, if we go kind of back to your beginnings, you are a guy that once upon a time played in the ACHA as well.
I did.
So tell me about that and how that kind of integrates.
Yeah, I spent a year. So I grew up in Illinois. Spent 1 year at Illinois State, and then back in the mid '90s, there was not many. I think there's only 4 sport management programs at the time. Now it's everywhere.
Right.
So I transferred to Bowling Green State.
Okay.
Played a little ACHA there, but then ended up getting more into my studies, so I had to transition off, but loved the experience, missed it. Just sitting here watching, obviously I was never good enough to make it to the Nationals,
yeah.
But getting to see how far it's even come from there, and the professionalism. Obviously I've had experience with the team here and going to stuff over the years, but to see the scale of it here is mind-blowing.
Is this your first time in a national tournament?
The ACHA Nationals,
yeah. Oh, really? Okay, yeah. So, you know, if you were, you know, now with the ACHA, we have teams in the United States, we also have some teams in Canada. If you were kind of to describe the services that USA Hockey, or what USA Hockey is, how would you kind of, you know, in short form?
Sure. So we're about 600,000 on-ice participants for USA Hockey, 1.2 million members if you include volunteers and whatnot. And what we are is we're called a national governing body under the U.S. Olympic Paralympic Committee, which is all governed under the Ted Stevens Act. And so we provide structure, risk management, partnership, everything to grow and service the sport, from kids literally put on skates for the first time to what we see here with athletes playing for their schools, to our Olympic teams and teams who send it overseas. So it's a lot. So you can imagine we're segmented in a lot of ways, but just making sure we service and partner with groups to make hockey thrive. And the fun part is while many people think of hockey as not a mainstream sport in some ways, like, you know, being the 4th, the NHL being the 4th largest major league, and not everyone thinks hockey is mainstream. In the national governing body world, we're probably one of the top, if not the top, governing body as far as scale and connection with our environment. Because we do so much in grassroots, a lot of other NGBs just worry about the elite development side, where groups like ourselves in swimming, we're very much connected and close in the grassroots side and helping it thrive.
You know, I saw you earlier talking to Dr. Al Murdoch, who goes way back with the ACHA, and I know from conversations also goes way back with USA Hockey.
Yep.
And speaking to that, I mean, how far back does the relationship between ACHA and USA Hockey go? I
mean, that's a great question. I'm not even sure. It's got to be close to Doc's first start back in the mid '90s, I would say.
Yeah. So you know, what benefits would you say that USA Hockey has for ACHA members?
So, you know, there's a couple things that doesn't always get seen. Yeah. And sometimes you don't want to be seen, but there's stuff as far as roster management, you know, making sure that we're screening people. We do federal screens because we all work with the government in safe sport, and Congress impacting that with the USOPC. USOPC being U.S. Olympic Paralympic Committee. I always forget to say that sometimes. We have robust risk management pieces, so that goes to protect not only individual players, but coaches, facilities. You know, we do a lot of certificate of insurance that name rinks and programs and universities for additional protection. There's pieces as far as promotion and I think there's a lot more we can do there too. I've taken more oversight of this from another individual over the past couple of years that I'm learning, but I think it's so important to provide more education to our athletes coming up through 14U, 16, 18, junior, men's and women's, of the opportunities available to them and the level of play, because I think too many times people, especially parents, are under the misnomer thinking that the only way to being a student athlete is NCAA and the quality of programs. I have 3 daughters that play, and I literally just got done texting the hockey director being like, hey, I want to get one of the women's commissioners on here to speak on a Zoom to our 15s and 19s teams, because they really need to know what's ahead of them, the opportunities there. Because even locally, we have girls-only programs, so if they're playing on co-ed high school teams, let's let them know where they can play female-specific hockey.
And I've been involved since 2005, and one of the things I feel that I'm noticing is there's still, it's not. I guess I'm surprised when I still encounter people that don't know that there is the opportunity to play at the college, university level, and I probably would say more so for women than men. And, if you just look at sheer numbers, that avenue really is the ACHA.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sheer numbers and once again, quality education. I mean, there's some opportunities, I'm sure, and it's not plus or minus against the NCAA, but smaller schools that may not offer the same educational opportunities that you see at some of the schools I'm walking around and seeing. That pretty great opportunity.
So, I know you said that, your membership of, 600,000 and then, over 1 million. The ACHA, I think, boasts about between 12 and 13,000 student athletes. How does the relationship of the ACHA with USA Hockey benefit USA Hockey?
So we've kept it as our only, what we consider our collegiate category of membership. Even though it falls under adult, it is a special category that we've had others try and want to be a part of it too. And just from the level of organization, structure, care that they put into, the league puts into with local schools and programs, and just being awesome partners, we've made that an exclusive title and piece. And I think it mutually exclusive in the sense that when things get splintered, they get messy and stuff gets missed. And here we know that the coaches are appropriately trained and screened, the officials are appropriately trained and screened, the players have the care needed to keep them safe and make sure that the level of hockey is kept at a certain level, because when things get bad, or an incident happens, I should say, outside of USA Hockey realm, we still get a call. So like if something happens, and I won't name where it happened, but there was a high school game that doesn't fall under USA Hockey where there was a kid kicking another kid. Oh. Not with us, not part of the training, but still it comes to us. So we want all of hockey to be well taken care of and well organized, and ACHA definitely does that. Not that we have to worry about kicking, but just as far as events like this and recognition and the level of administration, it's hard to replicate if you've never done it before, and they do it in better than anybody.
So, one thing I heard you mention early on is, teams that travel overseas. So, as the things you've mentioned, as a former ACHA guy, as a father of hockey players, and now as a USA Hockey guy, the ACHA is taking 2 men's Division I teams to Romania to participate in the World Cup of university hockey. What opportunity, from your knowledge and past history, do you think that opportunity provides for student athletes in the ACHA?
I think when you're making choices about when you're playing at a level, whether it's high school or travel or whatever it may be at that age, and it's hard to say I'm 17 and my career is going to be over soon. Right. And find this window open not only to represent your school but to represent your country, I think is beyond special. I get emails all the time from people asking how they can be on whether it was the World University Games or this. I had one literally last week from a young man playing Canadian University, but he's American. And the answer is there's one path, and it's through the ACHA, and it's sought after. I mean, even see it from our NHL players that they want to wear their country's crest. So I think it just adds another level of authenticity and recognition, so people look in what does ACHA, a non-varsity hockey, mean?
Yeah.